How are yous? Can you believe this? Everything just went down. Everything. I'm just trying to find yous all just now. Okay, no sound on YouTube. Right, it'll be coming on in a second. Hopefully you'll have it now. I don't even have it on my screen yet. Yeah, what the hell's going on? There we go. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Right. I swear to God. It's just a bit mad. Let's put the side cam on. Yeah. I'm going to speak on this camera for a second just now because this is kind of the camera that I've decided that I would use occasionally for speaking just for the hell of it, which is different from this camera as a whole. So this is me just speaking openly and differently, thinking, wow, did we get attacked there? Don't know. Was it a solar flare? Don't know. Okay, and now my live visibility has been restricted for 10 minutes. Your live is not eligible again. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of that and send that to TikTok because I don't know. Wow. So, why is that happening? Crazy. Look at this. Hold on, I'm going to put the main cam on and show you. It'll probably be backwards. But there it says, live visibility restricted for 10 minutes. I'm live, TikTok. You bunch of tool bags. I'm live, alright? And that's what it's saying. Right there, right now. That is insane. Right, yeah, so back. Maybe not so back on TikTok. Maybe as a live someone this old can never be. Yeah, thanks Barry. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Right, okay. I'm gonna just talk amongst myself for about 2 minutes, okay, just now, until we get some other audiences back. Listen, if you know anybody that was watching in YouTube land and you know who they are, send them a message, say it's back up. The health of the computer is fine. I'm monitoring it live at the same time just now. The only thing is the power usage is high, but it's not doing anything crazy. Memory's fine. Everything's working okay. Right, so yeah, so that whole thing about the reported for not being live thing was actually reported by somebody. We know who it is, and on Discord we'll put their name up and we can all take a shot at blocking them. Okay, as a whole, thanks Ken for that. Okay, oh here we go. There we are, brilliant and excellent. We will get him blocked, and I might just use that for content as well. Right. Yeah, Julianne, you're absolutely right. People are actually reporting my live across on TikTok. I'm now going to be putting it on 2 screens because just in case there is any problems with the computer, if I've got it between 2 places, it just means that I can concurrently have at least one of yous running. Now that's weird because I say at the start of every live, if one of the lives goes down, go to the other one. Both of them went down. Both of them went down. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say at all. So do you know what I'm going to do, right? Is I am going to, the audio's back. Can you all hear me? Let's just have a quick look at, can you all hear me in TikTok land and can you all hear me across in YouTube land? I'll get if you can just give me a thumbs up, please, if you can. Or an okay in YouTube land, please, to make sure that everybody can hear me and everybody can see me, etc., before we move on. Yes, Olby, why would they want to block you? Well, because I'm talking about the UK not being a union of equals. I'm putting my point across in an everyman way and not making it complicated for people to understand. It's all really weird. Brilliant. Thank you, YouTube land, and thank you, TikTok land. as a whole, that is brilliant. I'm not going to go all through segment 2 again. There's no point in doing that. But I do want to go on to segment 3, which, or should we just skip to the end? Because it's 10 to 12 and I'm working at 7 o'clock in the morning. Shall I stick? No, let's do the simple psychology of Scottish Unionist no voters. I think that's quite important, and it's probably a good one, the second from last thing that I'm going to finish up with tonight. I can't get over that. Somebody trying to friggin' do what they do. Right, we're ready to go. Okay. Cats, can I go? Yeah? Good. One of my cats, hold on, look, I'll show you over this way. See? Oh, kitty cat. Right. I'm ready to start again. Okay, so segment 3 is the simple psychology of Scottish Unionist no voters. First of all, they're idiots that report people for no reason whatsoever. Okay, that's the first thing. No, that's not really part of it. So despite the growing support for Scottish independence, many Scots still do not believe in independence and support remaining within the Union. Understand this mindset requires delving into the psychology behind this a little bit. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not saying that I am in any way. But when I researched a little bit about this, it came up with a couple of interesting things, okay? And we're going to talk about them. It's not the end all be all, but it gives some sort of background about how maybe some of the older generation maybe didn't want to vote yes back in 2014. And then also how the whole story of independence is framed as a whole. Okay, so one of the key reasons for this is something called risk aversion. Okay, human beings are naturally inclined to avoid uncertainty, and independence represents a significant constitutional change and in turn significant uncertainty to them. Many Unionist Scots fear the unknown. Me as an independence person, I kind of fear the unknown as well, but I embrace the independence sort of side of it. I'm not afraid of that. It's more sort of like, crap, what happens if I don't have a job tomorrow? You know, that sort of thing. But from many Scottish Unionists who fear the unknown, it's more like what will happen to the economy, our currency and our trade agreements overseas. For those whose livelihoods are tied to the UK-wide systems, remaining in the Union feels like a safer choice. Okay, it's easier for them. And when they feel secure, they start to lash out and call us names, as you know on the comments, like that guy that I just got the message from, Kinloch, that sent me the message from. The pound is a stable currency, and leaving that behind for an uncertain future could also be daunting. These are all risks, so changing all that might frighten a few people, cause a bit of understandable anxiety. And I get that, you know. So perhaps it's understandable that as long as they base their decisions on that primal behaviour of risk aversion, it will be a challenge to bring more Scots to the yes table. We also have to consider identity, and that also plays a massive role in this. Like for many Scots, their identity is not only Scottish but British too. And the idea of breaking up the UK can feel like rejecting a shared history and culture. The emotional bond with Britain is strong, nurtured over centuries, and many are hesitant to sever that connection. But our British nationalist brothers and sisters need to understand that independence does not mean severing all ties or erasing our shared history. It means recognising that shared history and placing the future of our country in the hands of Scots, making decisions for other Scots here in Scotland, is a good thing. It means remain in control of our own revenues, resources, international policies, and it does not mean that they cannot embrace their British heritage. We also have to look at how the media shapes opinions of Unionist Scots. They play a significant role in shaping opinions. Unionist arguments frequently highlight the risks of independence, focusing on what could be lost rather than what could be gained. This consistent messaging taps into people's natural fear of loss, making independence seem like a risky and uncertain choice, while the familiar option of staying in the Union often feels safer. But staying in the Union comes with its own risks. Again, Brexit is a prime example of how Scotland's political voice is often drowned out by the larger English electorate. Even within the Union, Scotland's interests can be overruled, and decisions about Scotland's future are made elsewhere. For those who fear uncertainty of independence, it's worth asking, what risks do we face by staying in a union where decisions about our future are increasingly made without Scottish consent? The psychology of unionist voters often revolve around the desire for stability and the fear of change. But what if the greater risk is staying in the system that limits Scotland's potential? So I'm going to ask you this just now. Okay, play the jingle and we can have a wee chat about it. Are unionist voters driven more by a fear of the unknown rather than the loyalty of the union? And how does the way independence is framed by the media shape public perception and voting behaviour?
Many Scots who vote to remain in the Union are driven by fear of the unknown. The prospect of independence, while full of potential, also brings uncertainty about our economy, our currency, and our place in the world. But we must ask ourselves, what's the greater risk? Staying in a union where decisions about Scotland's future are made by a government that doesn't prioritize our needs, or stepping forward and taking control of our own destiny. For many unionists, identity is tied to Britain. But independence doesn't mean abandoning that identity. It means securing a future where Scotland's interests come first, where our resources are used to benefit our people. Independence offers stability on our own terms, a chance to shape Scotland's future without Westminster's interference.
Okie dokie. We got through a whole segment without anybody complaining, without losing alive. Holy crapperoni. Right, I'm going to have a quick look in the chat boxes now because there's a great conversation going on across in YouTube land. First of all, everybody that's just come in, back into it just now, apologies that we lost the stream. We don't know what happened. Some of my guys think it might have been dark forces attacking. It's funny how it happened just as I was talking about the UK being a union of equals. You know, I think that's utterly hilarious. Hi Rumi, how are you? So yeah, what we're saying here, I think the fact that it was probably a unionist that reported you shows their twisted psychological reasoning. Thank you, Andrew. That's brilliant. No stream at all on YouTube. Can you see me on, you can see me now, Henry, can you? I'm sure you can. Hold on. I can see me on YouTube. Let's have a quick look. I have to go and block somebody. My admins say I need to go and block somebody. Right, so think about this, okay? Are unionist voters driven more by a fear of the unknown than loyalty to the union? Is that how it works? Or how does the way independence is framed with it all? We know that the mainstream media, the British nationalist propaganda machine owned by oligarchs, okay, that are got a vested interest of keeping the union together, okay, we know that the message that they send to us, that they send about us, is ridiculously negative. All right? I think that has a massive deal for it. I mean, here's an example, right? Love them or hate them. We'll talk about the SNP here. So, when Nicola was allegedly accused of all the stuff that's going on, and her husband, and who's been charged now, etc. Okay, we won't go into the ins and outs of the case because it's a live case. We shouldn't really be doing that. Okay, however, I'm just going to say the blue tent. Okay, for £600,000, the blue tent. What about the millions for the people down south at Westminster? Where's their friggin' blue tent? How come that friggin' lassie that does the underwear, how come she's not got a blue tent outside her house? Or if she has had a blue tent, how come that's not in the papers every day for 9 days straight? That's framing. That is media framing, media bias. And a lot of people within the independence movement fall for it as well, unfortunately, as a whole, which is, yes, thank you, Tim. I'm always forgetting Miss Moan's name. Ridiculous, right? So yeah, they say there. You can say SNP bad, therefore won't vote for INDY. Just mental. They can't see past the fact that INDY isn't about one particular party. It's true. And thank you very much for the link to the next segment, Julianne. That was perfect. It was as if you knew what was coming. You didn't, but it's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to conclude up just now with the end of the three segments, and then we'll move into the next whole big bit towards the end. All right. So what we've kind of explored tonight is the case for Scottish independence is not only compelling, it is essential. Okay, Scotland's ability to control its future politically, economically and culturally is constrained by the nature of the union that we currently live in. Unionists have yet to present a positive and compelling argument for why Scotland should remain in the union. This lack of a strong case suggests that even Unionist Scots on some level recognise that independence is the better option for our country. The real question we need to ask ourselves is, can we afford to stay in a union that limits our potential?
Can't get no sleep.
Yeah, good job there that the camera just came back on there at that point, because I was dancing to that. Dancing big time. Speaking of dancing online, back in the days of Radio Apocalypse, when I did live streams during the pandemic, we had a great guy from California, a DJ, that did an 1.5-hour set on Radio Apocalypse, and what a riot. I had danced for an 1.5 hours straight live. I might put that link up in the Discord for people, along with a few of the other old ones as well. Okay, so let's have anything else going on here. Right, Solway, these guys in our chat and YouTube, they're all a bunch of really cool people, and they are quite smart. I totally agree with you. They're good people, and have freedom or stay in a toxic relationship. You nailed it, Ali. You totally nailed it. Right, so I want to finish up tonight, okay, with something that I've gone and done. It's on the website now. I'll show you a picture of the website just now. So this is just an image of my website. Okay, it's sourcescott.com. Right, it's where I post a lot of the videos, and I post all the blogs, and there's other things as well going on there. But down the bottom of that there, it says 2 letters to the political entities that allegedly lead the independence movement. Apologies if there's any spelling mistakes. I am a bit crap at spelling. But it's 2 open letters, okay? 2 open letters. I'm not going to read the letters to you. You can go and read them yourself. They're now there. But I want to go through the premise of them all, okay? Because this is something that I feel needs to be said to the political entities that we place so much faith in. All right, so these 2 insightful letters have been written, each with an urgent call for action, and both making a case of why cooperation and strategy are key to Scotland's future. The first letter is directed at the SNP leadership, written by a long-standing member of the party, me, a loyal member. All right, I voted for them SNP1 and in pretty much in every single UK general election. Never voted SNP2 though, but we'll come on to that in a later on. So anyway, this letter highlights a crucial point, that party loyalty should not come before the ultimate goal of independence. Now, I understand why my brothers and sisters in the party want to vote both votes for SNP. They love the party and what it stands for. I get that. But the love of the SNP will not alone deliver independence. The party has led the fight for Scottish INDY for decades. The letter that I've written calls on the leadership to rethink current strategy. In the 2021 elections, the both votes SNP strategy resulted in over 1 million list votes, but only 2 list seats. This letter argues that the SNP should step back from the regional list as a whole for future elections. By doing so, it would allow its supporters to back other pro-independence parties on the list, which would in turn deliver far more pro-independence MSPs into Holyrood. So my vision is clear on this. More seats for independence, fewer unionist voices, and a majority pro-Scotland Parliament. This message to the SNP is that collaboration with other pro-independence forces is not a weakness, but a strength. The letter calls for the SNP to show leadership by prioritising independence over the preservation of the party. If the SNP were to support this strategy, it would send a powerful signal to the entire independence movement that they're willing to work alongside other parties for the greater good. And that's really important. Okay. The second letter is addressed to the leadership of ALPA ISP, the Scottish Greens, and echoes a similar sentiment but with a different emphasis. This letter calls on smaller pro-independence parties to unite around a shared strategy for the 2026 elections, focusing on the list vote. It suggests that these parties avoid running candidates in SNP-dominated constituencies and instead concentrating on maximising their chances through the list. By presenting a non-threatening posture to the SNP, these smaller parties can reassure SNP voters that their votes are safe in the constituencies while asking for support through the list. The idea is to strengthen the pro-independence presence in Holyrood, not by competing against the SNP but complementing their efforts. This strategy could drastically reduce the unionist representation and ensure a parliament that fully supports Scottish sovereignty. Both of these letters share a core belief that unity is essential. The current political strategy of infighting and competition only serves to weaken the independence movement. Both letters call for cooperation, with each party playing to its strengths in coordinated effort to maximise pro-independence representation. And both letters are written to state quite plainly that the animosity between the Scottish Government and their supporters and a chunk of the independence movement that sees the SNP as the problem need to get over themselves. Why? Because if they don't, delivering independence will never happen in the lifetime of any of the present leadership. Now, where do these two letters overlap? First, both letters recognise the flaws in the current electoral strategy. The SNP's attempt to dominate both constituency and list votes has proven ineffective. Meanwhile, smaller parties have struggled to make significant gains due to divided efforts. And when I say divided efforts, I don't mean that ALPA is doing something from ISP. I mean, they're divided because we're antagonistic towards each other. Not me, but SNP and ALPA, ISP, all this sort of stuff. One group of followers are antagonistic towards another, and that group of followers are antagonistic back. That is the divided efforts that I'm talking about. Both letters propose a strategic collaboration, whether it's the SNP stepping aside on the list vote or smaller parties focusing on specific areas of influence that we would like to, well, basically I'd like to see both. Second, there is a shared call for collaboration. The letters highlight the need to set aside internal rivalries and work together. It's not about one party versus the other. It's about creating a united pro-independence front that will effectively push unionists out of Holyrood and secure more representation in the independence movement. Finally, both letters emphasise the cause for independence must come before any party loyalty, whether directed at the SNP or the smaller pro-Indy parties. The message is the same. Unity and cooperation are the only ways to move forward. Party dominance should not overshadow the broader goal of securing Scotland's future as an independent nation. But beyond political strategies discussed in these letters, it's important to remember that politics is just one element of the independence movement. The real power lies with the people of Scotland. It's the people, not just the politicians, who drive this forward. Okay? The letters may call for strategic unity amongst the political parties, but it's the collective will of the Scottish people that will ultimately determine our future. If all the pro-independence political entities, whether SNP, ALAPA, ISP or the Greens, or the non-political elements like Salvo, Liberation Scotland, Believe in Scotland, and every single grassroots organisation who act like kings on their social media, allowing some pro-indie posts and then rejecting other pro-indie posts because they don't conform to their idea of how we should campaign. If they, all of the above, are truly committed to independence, they must be willing to bury the hatchet, accept that they will disagree on some things, but move forward as a collective, cohesive force for independence. A united front of all these organisations, backed by the will of the people, both be unstoppable and decisive. I want you to imagine a Holyrood dominated by pro-independence voices, where virtually every seat works towards building a sovereign Scotland. That's what these letters are calling for. A movement that puts internal politics aside and focuses on the ultimate goal. When the political forces come together, supported by the people of Scotland, we will finally secure the independent future that we have been fighting for. The letters are published. You can go to the website and read them. And I'm going to await the horror story of backlash across my social channels because of this. I can feel it coming already. There it is. That's it down the bottom there. 2 letters to the political entities that allegedly lead the independence movement. SourcesScot.com. That's where you go to. Can you miss us?
The Scottish Government are in a financial straitjacket, and there is never a scintilla of recognition that maybe, just maybe, decisions taken elsewhere are harming the decisions rather taken in this Parliament. Because that context is what the Unionist parties have bequeathed to the children of Scotland. That context matters. A block grant cut for capital of nearly 9%, meaning £1.3 billion less for Scotland. Look, I hear the Unionist parties heckling from a sedentary position. This is their union. They should take ownership of these cuts coming to Scotland. A £1.2 billion cut. I hear anger from the Conservative benches. This is their union. They should own it.
Friggin' love Jenny. And I know that, she's married to the ex-lassie that was the Labour leader, but I think she is brilliant for saying that. That is something that I want to get put on a t-shirt. In fact, I made a t-shirt thing for it. I had it up a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to make a t-shirt out of that with her face on it saying, "It's your union. Own it. Own it." Kind of have to, eh? I mean, what happens... Whoa, I just lost something on my phone there. Good. Listen, I am really sorry that for whatever reason we lost the stream tonight. It was quite a well-produced stream, but I got thrown a curveball and it put me right off everything, and I kind of lost my flow a little bit. And it's weird that the whole thing went down. The whole system went down. But we're back now, and we got to the point which was the most important bit, which was really about the letters. If you want to get the gist of what I was saying and discussing tonight, there are 4 videos on the YouTube channel, and I think they're on, there's 3 on TikTok because I always put the last one on YouTube. Go and watch them. They're worth watching because it takes the points that I've made tonight and just makes them very simply, breaks them down for about 4 or 5 minutes into everyman terms to understand why we want to go for independence, what are the benefits of independence, do we live in a union of equals, and then there's a 9-minute sort of 9-minute one all about the psychology of no voters. It's a little bit more detailed, a little bit more fun. So yeah, that's us. We're pretty much done for tonight. Let's have a quick look. Is that some amazing pics of you? Right. No, you will not be making pictures of me into t-shirts, Barry. No, you won't. You can't do that. Okay, do it if you like. Sell it and give them to a charity for Gaza. We might scare some people. I think that's us for tonight. I'm just checking. Yeah, you missed all that, Chris. We'll have a wee chat about that in the Discord. We'll unwrap and unravel tonight in the Discord for 10 minutes after tonight. That's where I'm heading to just now. So listen, thank you for watching. Next week, I've kind of, on the back of those letters, I've written a 3-line manifesto for unity. And next week's going to be all about that. It's like that whole theme of working together. Finishing up with me just publishing the 3-line manifesto as a whole. I think it's important that we constantly bang on about unity and bang on about the voting system in Holyrood, as well as talking about current affairs type things as well. That's really, really important. So listen, if you know anybody at all that is on the fence, send them to the YouTube channel. There's lots of great videos there. Get them to drop me a message. I'm quite happy to discuss things with anybody that's on the fence. It's the time anyway. Don't really say that very often, but thank you everybody that's watched in TikTok land and my amazing admins there, and the same across in YouTube land as well. So we're going to call it a night, and I'll see some of yous in the Discord. Thanks for watching.
I'll reach my hand